welcome to episode 39 of the podcast. Today is a very special episode because I have got my OG business BFF Emma from Beautie UK, aka the Scrunchie Queen. I said to her the other day, you're becoming like Madonna because somebody just named you Emma and I knew who it was because she just pointed at her head to where there was a scrunchie in place. So yeah, she's the Scrunchie Queen. This episode of the podcast is very chatty. It's the first one that's ever had the addition of alcohol, so it's very fun to listen to. So Emma is the creator of Beautie. It's a luxury accessories brand that started back in 2012, born from a love of fabrics, and after 9 months of working on it around her job, she took the plunge to take it full time. And her mission is to provide luxury, carefully crafted accessories that will be loved, worn time and time again, and, you know, expressing your individuality, whether it's through the day or smarter occasions. And she tries to encourage like a greener approach to business by using vintage and reclaimed fabrics where possible and sourcing from independent shops or vintage. Her products are really popular in America as well, and having been friends with her all this time, I'd never actually been on her website because I bought the scrunchies through Etsy, but her products have sold to every single state in the USA, which is a really fun fact, and I love the fun facts. In this episode we discuss kind of so much, but pretty much like how we became friends over Instagram and moved our friendship to IRL, staying motivated when working for yourself, manifestation and woo-woo magic, pivoting your business during lockdown, getting over your fear of talking on stories, and having your Insta account hacked and starting again from zero. So yeah, here it is.
Hiya!
Hey! You're right, you look really nice.
Ah, lipstick on me.
I don't mean to sound surprised, I just mean like comparison to me, where I look at her like a beast.
Beast! You look like a beast.
What's your shirt got dragons on it?
No, it's flowers.
Oh.
No, paisley.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, how do I change it so it's not massively my face, or do I not change that?
It's not massive your face on mine. I think, is it top right where it's like speaker view, gallery view, or swipey?
Oh no, I've done it now. There we go. Yeah. You'd think I'd never done Zoom before. It's because I've got it on my phone this time, just because my laptop sometimes doesn't like Zoom and I don't want it to like switch itself off and it would just be a bit of a nightmare.
Interesting.
But hopefully my mum doesn't ring, so.
How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been good. I've done nothing.
Good.
Absolutely nothing. I was like, what I'll do is I'll have a half day. And that was ruined because I got out of bed about 1. I was like, well, that's half. Now the other half of the day I need to just be lazy but not in my bed. So,
yeah. Nice.
But yeah. Oh, okay.
I've got that rug. We had this conversation.
Wait, didn't you get yours from
Labrador,
yeah.
Yours from there?
No, TK Maxx.
Interesting. I mean, I say it like, I've got that rug. I mean, literally everyone
has that rug. It's the rug. And I was like, I want it. I'm sorry. I want that, balls and plants everywhere. I'm still very much a millennial.
I like it. As if we've both got fizzy rosé as well. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. I don't normally buy fizzy and we went mad.
I got excited again. I was like, launch. I'm going to get some fizz.
I don't even know where to begin, honestly. I really don't.
I know. I haven't like done any like mental prep, but I figured it'd just be like a chat, wouldn't it?
I mean, this is recording, to be honest. I mean, I don't even know. Like when I say I don't know where to begin, I genuinely don't know. How did we meet? Do you remember?
What, like, is in on Instagram? I have no idea, and I wish I did. It's so weird to think about it when you were Hello Stationery.
I know.
So weird.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on the podcast, actually. We can go way back.
Oh, we could go way back. Because I thought it'd be funny to talk about, like, going on Insta friend dates, because I was so nervous. It was like I was going on the first date.
Yeah. Okay, let's
That's quite
start
a different
there.
thing to talk about, because not many people have discussed that really on podcasts. I've not really heard.
No, I like that. I quite like the
Internet.
idea of actually making it about like making friends on Instagram.
Like that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
I don't have one big group at all. I've literally got so many. I'm just one of those people. I'm just in so many different like cliques. Just trying to get involved in all of them. I just want to be in all of them. Hello.
FOMO all
Love
the time.
Me. Constant.
Oh dear. I don't know whether to top up my wine before we get started. I think I'm going
I mean, I've got my bottle with me.
Have you? What about if it gets warm?
It'll be alright, I reckon.
Yeah, it will do. Lovely. Okay.
When you were gone, I just shoved a load of food in my face.
I was going to say, once I start drinking, it's unlikely I then eat.
Yeah.
I've not actually eaten anything. Had some like chicken soup earlier.
Yeah, I had an apricot pastry, and that's all I've had today because I got up so late. And I was like, shit, I've had nothing. So I'm eating my like stuffed peppers. But this is my current phase. Look at them. Everyone hate me because I was just like crazy skinny at school and had like the best metabolism. So I just never put on weight at all. Like I was like tiny. And I would eat just shit every day for lunch. And all my friends that are putting on weight must have just absolutely hated me. I'd be like, I'm going to have 2 lots of chips for lunch and some crisps and a fizzy drink. Whoop.
Yeah.
And walk home and be lazy all day and not do any exercise.
How did you have any friends?
I know, it's a wonder. I was going to put a wash on, but I was like, well, I can't have that in the background when it starts kicking off. Like, although I did that last night, and I don't know why I decided to put that on. I was like, what if I can't sleep? I passed out though. I very much passed out from the overwhelm and the wine. Yeah.
Well, maybe we can start. No, I don't want to start there. We need to start right at the beginning. We need to
start at the beginning. Where should we start? At the beginning?
Yes. We need to go back.
Yeah. Agreed.
It was January. It was January.
it was a cold January afternoon.
I was it 2018 or 2017?
I reckon it was 20. Oh God. No, because I think 2018 was when we did Sophie French workshop.
Yeah.
And that was way after, because we did a lot of workshops.
We did so many workshops.
I was talking about that as well, my love of workshops and courses.
It was like every time a workshop got announced, we were like, I'm there. No way.
You tagged me with the little like eyes emoji, like, shall we?
Oh.
Another one? Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
I forgot that people might not know who you are, so maybe you should tell people who you are before we dive into the workshop chat.
Yeah, okay, this is true. So I'm Emma I've got my little spiel there, just in case. From Beautie, and I make luxury accessories. So for men, I do ties, bow ties, and pocket squares. And then I do scrunchies, which I launched this year, and I also have a dog range called Dog and Bow. And my main kind of, I guess, my business value, my brand values are to use predominantly vintage and recycled fabrics, which I source a lot from charity shops. And I just went blank then.
And that's it.
That kind of is it. And I've been doing it for about 7.5 years, working from my home studio in Swindon with my house cat Snowy. You
were one of the people that when I was at my job, I used to look at and think, well, she's done it. She somehow manages to make a living from fashion and like working for herself, then so can I. Yeah, you were my inspo.
You're my inspo now, 10k.
Pop that one in. You got to slide it in.
Obviously, I put it into the live as well. It's like
I saw that.
Any opportunity.
That was so nice. Thank you. So yeah, this podcast is going to be slightly different, I think, to most of them because Emma is one of my best friends. I was going to put it on Instagram at the end, but I'm just going to leave it as one of my best friends.
Oh,
because I talk to you more than anybody in my life, I think.
Yeah. We're always voice noting.
Yeah. Either voice noting or messaging or DMing or sharing something. And
yeah,
we, like you heard at the beginning, we met through a lady called Sam Burgess on Instagram, who used to be like a social media like advisor, but has now moved into life coaching. And we actually met so many people through her that I'm very, very grateful for. So yes, met Emma, and I think we started following each other for a while, and then like we said, we ended up going on the same workshops together, and I think we just saw something in each other's eyes that was some kind of like glimmer of stupidity. I don't know how else to describe
very
it.
like the right level of weird humor.
Yeah,
there's a fine line, and we crossed that line quite a lot.
And we've got like a shared love of cats for one. Yeah, we both had a white cat, or have a white cat. And I guess that's like a good starting point, is that when people worry about sharing too much of their personality online, and I always encourage people to share it. Like if they've got pets, I'm like, share your pets, because regardless of your sales, you might actually make some friends.
Yeah, people love pets.
Yeah.
Massively. Yeah, people, like the amount of people that respond when I put up pictures of Snowy, more than when I put up anything about my products.
Great, she's not for sale.
Because I'm proud of that little fluff ball. It's all good.
Yeah. And so did you have Snowy when you first started your business or not?
No. I must have got her 2 years after. Yeah, 2 years after, because she's like the same age as my business, but she was 2 when I got her.
Oh.
So I remember how old she is every year, because it's like about 2 months after my business anniversary, and I'm like, oh yeah, same age.
She is. Because you live on your own as well, don't you, with Snowy? And we're kind of still recording this during lockdown. Otherwise, we would have obviously recorded it in person. Yeah. How have you found it?
I hate to say, I've kind of loved it a little bit. Like mostly day to day, I have not really noticed it, because I work from home anyway, on my own, and live on my own. It's more just like going away and going out on the weekends. Yes, definitely. I do love a good night out, and pubs. But apart from that, like I've really enjoyed doing, like, especially at the beginning when everyone was just all about, I don't think anyone's doing a quiz over Zoom anymore.
No, ever again.
But I loved all that at the beginning. Like I think I loved the novelty of it at the beginning. But like there was just loads of people doing like Lucy Sheridan was doing the pub quiz every Friday. Yeah. And then you've got the Jules and Sarah bingo, which is still going on, which we bloody love. But yeah, I think it's just such a good community where I live as well, and you could see how everyone was doing little things to make their businesses work, and it was all really nice. Everyone was just sharing each other's businesses to help like create exposure. Kind of like, and everyone's just looking out for each other, which was really sweet. And like my neighbours were all lovely. That made a huge difference, definitely.
Yeah, you're such like a great champion for small business. Like, you know, some people say it, but they, like, you literally live and breathe it. And I think that's probably like in correlation to why your business has been successful. You know, it's almost like what you put out is what you get back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Like, I fully live by that. What you put out, what you get back. But I just love small businesses. And there's, where I live, I'm just lucky that the area that I live in, Old Town, is predominantly all independents. I don't think there's really many chains at all. Like all the restaurants and the bars, and then there's little shops. So because I'm just in such a hub of it, it's very natural for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was meant to come down pre-lockdown,
Oh my God, I know. I'm so sad because I had to cancel because I was really ill, and then lockdown.
I know. And we were
I'm
meant to see
sad.
each other and get really, really, really drunk. And then it didn't happen.
I was so excited to take you out on a tan.
Yeah, we will. One day.
One day, 2022.
And so I'm trying to think back to like when we met, like what we used to talk about in the DMs to
Oh
become
my God, I would love
friends.
to like. I can't even go back because it would be my old Instagram, so I don't even have like RIP the history of it. But I do remember on our I was gonna say our first date.
Was like taking a friendship from online to offline is so creepy.
Yeah, I remember being on the train and texting my friend like, I'm really nervous to meet her. And then I decided to wear heels as well. And I didn't underestimated our height difference. And I was like, hello. I went in for a hug, like I bend down so much to hug you. And you're always like, you don't need to bend down like that. And I'm like, I can't help it.
And I literally like squatted, like a sumo squat to give me a hug because I'm really short and Emma's pretty tall. And I was like,
I think
so tall.
I honestly think like next time I see you out of lockdown, I will just pick you up and spin you around. I'm excited. Come on.
Here we go.
Like, I just remember when we were sat and I was just eating a pastry and there was just crumbs everywhere. And it was a mess. Oh.
Yeah, because Sam had done a workshop in London and I was booked on the morning session and Emma was booked on the afternoon session. And so we were like, oh my God, this is perfect. We can finally meet after like months and months of DMing. And so we met during the lunch break between the two sessions. And I remember we spoke about power drills.
Yeah.
And like something else. And I was like, yes.
I remember specifically the power drills.
I don't know what, but there was power drills.
I just remember cry laughing. I was like, she's a keeper. This is good.
Yeah. And so then we became like a bit obsessed with going to workshops and just always ended up booking on the same one. And one of us would bully each other.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I just remembered with Sam's one, we both booked a ticket, but then we didn't realise. And then I was like, I booked this. And you're like, I booked this. And we're like, oh my God, it's meant to be. And then we realised we were on different slots. But
And then there was the Sophie French workshop around like how to crush the can't in your head, not the in your head. And that was about speaking on camera. Your can't was not being able to speak on camera. Mine was not being able to leave my job. And fast forward like 3 years, we're here. We've done it.
I know. Although I remember it was something in the spring. By September, you'd left your job, and then another year later, and then I spoke on stories. So I didn't really hold up my pinky promise, but I got there in the end.
We got there.
Another year.
And then we did another workshop, but that was really rubbish, so we won't talk about that one.
Oh yeah. And it was like the hottest day. I swear it was the hottest day of the year. And it was like being in a greenhouse, and you were wearing a massive baggy jumper and leather leggings. And you're like, oh, poor sod. She must be drenched. Drenched through. It was the sweatiest day.
I think that's probably one of the things that we bonded over, was being sweaty people.
Sweating. Yeah. That definitely was a key one. Sweating and pets.
Sweaty pets.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do. Like, what does a normal day look like for you?
So normally, I've started to recently get myself into a better morning routine. I just had such a bad habit of I'd wake up, grab my phone, and then look at it, and then an hour would pass, and I've just been scrolling Instagram.
Fuck.
Which, I mean, it's great because that's a big part of my business, but it's not great because it's not good for, like, I don't think it's good for the mind to get in a good state for the day, and you just feel a bit like blah. So my phone goes in airplane mode now. So I wake up and I do my little 90-day manifestation journal.
You're so good at that.
Yeah, well, at the moment I am. But I'm into a habit of now because it's quite easy. I just grab it by the side of my bed and I'm just in bed, and then it wakes me up and I'm doing something other than being on my phone, and it kind of gets me into that, and I write down what I've got to do that day, and it gets me into a bit of a more organised mindset. And then this is also very new. I'm not that normally that knobby, but then I do a workout. When I work out, I mean, it's an app and it's called 7-minute workout, and I do the beginners one because I tried the intermediate one the other day and it was so hardcore that I went back to bed for 2 more hours sleep. I literally felt dizzy. I was broken. It was awful.
7 minutes.
I got too like ahead of myself. I got excited. I was like, launch is coming up. I'm gonna go mad. And it killed me. So then I do that, and then I have a shower dance party. That's my routine. I put on like my most high vibe playlist when I have a shower, and that really gets me started for the day. And then then I'll like look at my phone, always check Instagram, check what orders have come in or inquiries, and then I'm in the studio just making orders generally for like majority of the day. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll do half day making orders, half day doing admin. I do my daily walk, which I've done every day this year, and now I've got to this point. I'm so stubborn. I have to do it. The other day on a Sunday, I was really hungover, and I remembered about 8 p.m. I still hadn't done it. I was like, I'm going for a walk around the block because I've got to commit to a year now. Like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I make sure I do that, and then I usually mix that in with going to the post office with orders, and then I try to just have the evening not working. But I don't like give myself any guilt for that. Like I tend to take weekends off, and if I want to work in the evening or do a workshop, then I think that's fine. But yeah, that's kind of my general.
So let's go back to the manifestation.
Yes,
because we love it.
I love it.
And some woo-woo magic witchy shit. We've not spoken about this on the podcast yet. How did you get into it?
I'm honestly trying to remember, and I wish I knew specifically. I feel like it probably came from Sophie French.
Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I was just like, oh, I'm really into this. Like, because I remember when I look back at things that I have manifested, but I didn't really know what that was. And I've got this little Buddha head shaped kind of crystal. I don't know what type it is. My mum got me it on a bracelet like years and years and years ago, and I have it in my purse. I've always had it in my purse, and I've always said that I feel like it brings me good luck, and like it's just become my lucky thing. But I never really knew about manifesting then. It's just something, and now I can't take it out of my purse. It's always with me. And like, every time I look at it, I'm like, if anything's like feeling a bit shit, I'll be like, no, everything's gonna be fine. I've got my little lucky Buddha.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember like when I first got into it. I really don't, which is annoying.
Yeah, I don't really. I remember reading The Secret, but I can't remember why I read it. And when I read it the first time, because I've read it about 3 times now, the whole time I was just like eye rolling, like this is ridiculous. It's so impractical, like it's not sensible, it doesn't make any sort of practical sense. Do you know what I mean? That there's no proof. And I was like searching for the proof.
Yeah, because I've got very like scientific mindset, like
yeah, but then it just kind of, by the end of the book, I'd say I got 3/4 of the way through it where I was eye rolling, and then by the end something just clicked, and then I went back and read it all again. And then Sarah Aquazombie launched her money and manifesting course almost like this straight after I finished that book, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And I messaged her saying, oh, I've just read The Secret, and I remember her reply was something like, that's only the beginning ... and I was like, oh, how cryptic.
I'm in.
And it really was like, it's just so manifestation, to anybody that doesn't really know, it's about I wouldn't even know how to describe it, to be honest. To think of visualizing about what you want and really focusing on it and keeping it at the forefront of your mind to make it a reality.
I feel I'm trying to think of the way to sum it up to make it like, especially for someone that's never like either is not into it or doesn't have a clue what it is. It's kind of just almost having like, you put an idea out there and you just have like you kind of have to, I can't think what the word is.
It's like you've just got to believe that it will happen.
Yeah, basically. Just, you've got to trust in the process and just be like, this is what I want, it's going to happen. Boom, done. That's a very basic way of putting it.
Yeah.
And you're done.
And I do think if you own a business, it's almost like a rite of passage that you have to get into it.
Sorry, I do a massive cough then. Yeah, definitely. It has completely changed for me for my business, because I would freak out if I had like a few days in a row with no orders. But now I would just be like, oh, it's fine, like they will come. Because literally every time, I'd have a month where I think once I had 10 days with no orders, and then the next day I suddenly had like 10 days worth of orders just in a row. And it would always work out. I'd get to the end of the month and my earnings would always work out. And every time I'd look back and be like, there was no need for that extra stress. It was just a waste of energy. So I guess it's that, like, just believing that everything will work out, which again seems really basic, but
I know it sounds so wanky when you put it like that,
but it is, like, it's just a power of mindset. Like, it's such a game changer. You can look at any situation in two perspectives. Like, you decide. I say any situation, I get like there's going to be some situations where really shit, but it's kind of what you make of it, isn't it?
I just think self-belief is massive when it comes to running your own business, and you've got to nip those negative thoughts in the bud like ASAP, because it's so quickly to spiral into a negative hole of thinking nobody's going to buy it, nobody's going to be interested in what I've got to say. And I guess manifestation is around like positive mental attitude as well. And
definitely.
Fiona at She Can She Did, who I know we go to her events as well. Like any excuse to get drunk and talk about our businesses, we're there. And she said, starting your own business is like the most brutal form of therapy, because you've got to face everything in your life that you're brilliant at, but that you're shit at as well. And you've got to run with it and make it work. And I was like, that is so true.
And like, if things go wrong, it's on you. Like, you have to own up to that kind of situation. If there's like customer complaints, you can't just pass it on. You've got to handle it like straight on. It's an intense journey.
But then equally, when you get a customer like testimonial of saying how brilliant it is, you can completely own that.
Oh my god, yeah, the highs. Like, I've ever known.
Well, let's talk about that, because so for how many years did you make bow ties? I mean, obviously you still do, but
so I started in 2012, so just over 7.5 years I've been running it. Which is mad when I think about it now, but it's just weird. It's like, it's really taken off in the last, it's really taken off since I started talking on stories. I'm going to put that very bluntly out there, because I know that people kept saying that to me before about how important it was, and I was like, I don't want to do it. But now I have, and actually, genuinely, it's like, I get orders, and then the notes with those orders are like, I love watching your Instagram stories and stuff, and I'm like, this is mad, but obviously confirms that like they're watching them and then they want to buy from me.
Because your thing stopping you was actually more the people that you know rather than the people that you don't know. And I think that's quite common.
Massively. When I record my stories and put them up, it's just me and it's fine. And then I think, shit, I've got people I went to school with, people I know locally, people I've dated. Like, it's my mum's watching. It's just really, it's quite weird when you think about it that way. But then it's also like, they're watching me and it's like, I'm a business, I've got to show up and I've got to sell, and ultimately, who gives a fuck? Like, really? Like, if people are judging me, then that's on them. Like, that's their personality, and that's, if they want to do that, that's fine. But or they can unfollow me. So, you know, like, I don't know, I've just got more sassy this year.
I like it. And so, say when you started talking on stories, I don't suppose you remember like what the first thing is that you said. Was it actually? I remember it was when you got in a magazine.
Yeah, it was. So the first time I did it was talking, but behind the camera. I'd forgotten that completely. Yeah, when I was in, so my friend's wedding was featured in Wedding Ideas magazine. And I thought, right, I was just so hyped about it that I was like, I'm going to do a little story just talking through it, but over the camera. And I really like enjoyed it. I enjoyed like my personality coming through, and I put it up and I got such a good response. I was like, okay, I have to eventually talk on stories. But that would have been in March, and I still didn't talk on stories till September.
Wow.
It's mental, isn't it? So like, it took me like, the workshop would have been the March before, and then like a year after that I finally talked behind the camera, and then about 6 months, if not longer, later I talked on camera. Like, it was a very long journey.
But that's really nice for people to hear, that it doesn't just like come overnight. And I'm sure when people like land on your Instagram page now, it's not like you've got like millions of followers, but you've got a good amount of followers and very, very, very engaged. And you're like the perfect example of it being engagement versus like volume.
Yeah.
Because you're running a very successful business on a couple of thousand followers.
Yeah.
I know. And I remember when we were talking about planning the content for this, that you said you've had more followers in 7 months than 7 years within the business, because 7 months ago you got hacked.
Yeah.
What happened?
And then, so I literally woke up and I couldn't get into my Instagram, and I had an email about someone saying they were trying to get into asking for my code to get into my Facebook, and I was like, well, that's linked to Instagram. Then I couldn't get into Facebook. I feel like almost like it was traumatic that I've like blanked out a lot of the detail. Like, I don't really remember. But also I think I was just so impatient that like the effort I'd have to put into like getting it back, I think I honestly just was like, I'm just going to start again. Which I know seems completely mental. But also I'd had that Instagram since like when I first started it. Instagram was just shit and like wasn't anything like it is now. So I was like, well, I'm just going to see it as a way to start again. And luckily that all kind of worked out. But I think as well, because I'd worked really hard on building a strong community around me in the build up to that, people were all sort of ready to share my new Instagram and get everybody back to my page again. But it's funny, like just recently, I think it was in the last week, I've had someone follow me and she was like, oh, I used to follow you like ages ago. I didn't know you'd lost your Instagram. I heard about, and she said she'd heard about it because I was on the Business Proposal podcast, and that's how she found me again.
Yeah.
I keep getting people suddenly finding me again, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'd forgotten, like, because it's just, I can't remember everyone I followed. There's still like some fashion people that I used to follow that I can picture their Instagrams, but I can't remember their names. I'm like, they're gone forever.
Gone forever.
But like, again, that just shows the volume, the what's the word, how powerful showing up talking on stories is. Because so in the last, like I said, like since my new Instagram, like you said, I've gained more followers in the last 7 months than 7 years, and I've been showing up on stories then the whole time, and stories didn't even exist for the first however many years of my Instagram before, which I can't imagine that now.
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
That blows my mind. No wonder everyone just put really weird, like, remember when you used to put up like just pictures of anything because you couldn't share it on stories?
Yeah, with like the filters and the frames, very heavy filters.
Very heavy filters. We loved it.
And so I remember when your account got hacked, like I logged in because as we said at the beginning, we talk all day, every day, and I just couldn't find it. And I was like, oh my God, like surely this can't happen. And I know in podcasts and stuff, or any online training, they go, what if Instagram crashed, and you know, where else is your business being supported? And you go, oh, that would never happen. And it's like, no, that probably won't happen, but what could happen is that you get hacked. And so like obviously you've got your Etsy, you've got a bit of a news like email list from the orders, but you don't actually have an email list, do you?
Not an up-to-date one.
Yeah. And so I bet you like thank your lucky stars that you spoke on stories before you got hacked, because I doubt that you would have built up your community as quickly as you did if you hadn't done that.
Yeah, and I'd like properly worked at it, because I did that like I did a 4-month course with Inga. I'm trying to think what give us, I can't remember her surname.
Hunter.
Oh yeah, Inga Hunter. I did like an Instagram course, and it was about showing up and posting every day. And so I posted every day from May, June, July, and August. And I think doing that really like grew my community, which now I'm just so thankful, because that definitely helped to build up as well. But yeah, it's just mad. I think a lot of the reason why people as well were so quick to like share is because they all could relate. Because I'd made those connections, they could relate to like if it had happened to them, how shit they'd feel. So they're like, right, we need to get her back up again.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it put the fear in everyone who had
yeah.
Because they were like, this is someone I know and it's happened to them. Like you hear stories, but when it's someone you know, it changes everything, doesn't it? It's a bit more close to home. I also realise this sounds like I'm talking about something really dramatic, but it is in terms of business.
And exactly, like when I was moaning about my Wi-Fi the other day, and I was like, oh, it's a bit middle class problems, which it is. But then equally, you were like, but at the end of the day, your business is run on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's literally how you make your bread and butter. Like,
yeah, there's a direct correlation between what's happening on the internet and your income, so it is important. Like I think it's okay to accept that you can get stressed out about that, like that's fine, because really like your community disappeared, like your audience disappeared, all your customers disappeared, and that's really fucking scary.
I know, and I still think now I don't have a lot of like my previous wedding customers wouldn't necessarily find me now. I mean, I like to hope that they might, because my Instagram's almost the same name. So maybe they start typing it. But I'm like, oh, they're gone.
Hopefully, if they're married, you wouldn't want them back again, because that means they get married for a second time.
Yeah, well, this is true. I've got a new gang now. I've got the Scrunchie gang with me.
Yes, so
I've moved on.
What happened with, like, tell us how the Scrunchies came about. Like, it was through lockdown.
Yeah, it all just came from, I'd wanted to bring out a product for women for so long, because I think I never kept saying to you, like, I felt like my Instagram kept coming across as quite feminine, but I didn't want to make it really masculine, because it just didn't feel natural at all, and it wouldn't have come across in that way at all. And I wanted to just have something that the people that followed me and the people in my community could buy, because obviously with my other men's products, only so many of them can be buying them as presents for like their dad or their partner, or they're getting married, or that's kind of like the basics of it. So yeah, I just wanted a product for women. So I mean, ironically, when I first started, I made women's bow ties.
With stuff,
they were
wasn't it?
way too niche. And then I did bring out hair bows, but I prefer a scrunchie. I don't mind a hair bow, but I prefer a scrunchie. And yeah, it just felt like the right thing to do, because there was something else I was going to bring out, which I still might, and so I'm not going to say what it is, but that was more like a home product, so it still would cover that person. I just wanted something. I think what I realised as well is where I share some of my most engaged stories were when I would go to a charity shop and have a haul, and I'd buy fabrics which I'd share, and then I'd show people what I'd bought to wear, and I would get so many replies. Yeah. I miss that so much. And then and people are talking about how they liked how I dressed. So like the way to bring in a product that I can work into my style as well would just be so natural. So, and I was wearing scrunchies anyway, so it kind of just happened quite organically, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Like, I think, in fact, I was just having a chat with my coach Holly, and I remember just a lot of the time, most of our coaching calls are just me blabbering away, and suddenly I have a light bulb moment, which is why there's so much value in those calls. It's like I get an opportunity to just chat for an hour, and so I always come out with like, "Oh my god, this is great," and she's just there
gold.
Like,
this stuff that I've just spoken about.
She's like, yeah, listening, like let me chat away. And I think I was just like, scrunchies. But that's when I first came up with it. It was to do scrunchies with matching dog bow ties as like a little set. And then I remember I spoke to you and Joe of Arnold and Bird, and I said, like, would it work to just bring out scrunchies on their own? Both of you were like, yes. And I was like, okay, so one of you works in like product design, the other's like a fashion brand consultant. I think I'm going to take this advice to be like, okay, great, yeah, I need to do this. And you were very much right. In fact, I said to my coach today, I was like, so turns out scrunchies really were definitely absolutely the best idea I've ever had after my 4th launch. Yeah, done.
And so how many did you launch with? Like, how did you choose the fabrics? All that stuff. How did you even learn how to make a scrunchie?
How did I learn? Endless YouTube videos, I think, for the first one. And I was so excited when I made one, and I sent Holly a photo, and I was like, made a scrunchie. When I look back at it now, it probably looked a bit shit, because it was literally the first one. Like, my first bow tie was also very shit. But then I just started, like, I just suddenly got really excited because suddenly I saw fabrics in a different way. There'd be so many fabrics I had that I'd be like, I'm not sure that's going to work for the men's collections. Maybe it's a bit too feminine or too bulky, or just wasn't going to work. And so I was like, all these fabrics have just been sat there not knowing what to do with. Suddenly there's something to make with them. I was in like a frenzy. Like, and so the other week, I took a week off to recover from the craziness of scrunchies. But during that week, I did my studio declutter, and I just found so much. I found a whole bag of fabric, like vintage fabric, that I just put aside that I didn't know what to do with it, but it wasn't suitable for my current the products before scrunchies. I was looking for it like a little treasure trove. I was like, oh my! So I found like the vintage pink cord that everyone went mental for.
Yeah.
And loads of other florals, and some that I put aside for like autumn, winter. Yeah, it's just been mad. I've just loved putting together collections. I feel like every time, like, somehow they do build a theme, but I never, like, even when I did collections for the men's stuff, I never had a specific thing in mind. I don't sit down and like write about or anything. I just would go around the charity shop, see what I find, and then build a collection from that. But obviously this time was using what I had in my studio and building from that, and it just kind of worked. Yeah.
Because your business before was very seasonal, really, wasn't it? Around wedding season. And so it was probably also, I mean, I actually have no idea, but like a couple of orders a day consistently. Yeah.
Generally, or like there'd be like a few days without, and then a big bespoke order. So I do a lot of bespoke custom orders as well.
And so to go from that kind of business model to this like absolutely frantic cult energy of madness.
Completely mental. Like, now when I get my orders down to under 10, I'm like, oh my god, this is great. I remember my busiest month ever, I think in 2017, and I had 20 outstanding orders, and I was like freaking out. That's nothing now, which is mental.
What's the highest number of outstanding orders you've had so far?
With scrunchies, about 130, I think, 140.
Oh my god!
And most of them are for multiple items.
Insane.
Like, I say this, and I don't say this in like a boasty way. I'm in complete like shock about it, but also like buzzing and bloody grateful. But yeah, I've created a monster, mate. Scrunchie monster.
It must, because I remember when you created these, and this is the bit that we weren't sure whether to share on the podcast, but I'm going to go for it, is you were like, exactly that, like, I think I've created a monster, you need to like hold me back because my ego could go out of control kind of thing. And I was just like, my automatic reaction was just to say no. Like, I think as women in business, we're taught, I mean, nobody's ever taught anything but to like be really humble and be really calm and be really positive. Like, I don't even know what words to use, but I was just like, you are gonna fucking go for it, and I'm gonna push you and push you and push you to like the limits of your ego because you deserve it. And so, yeah. that's when this new level of energy arrived, that we now only talk in capital letters in our DMs. Just shout at each other.
We're only allowed to shout. When the energy is on, we shout.
Yeah.
I love how capital letters as well come across as you assume you're shouting and you hear it as a shout. The power in that is mental.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, I just didn't, when you messaged me saying, like, hold me back kind of thing, and I was just like, no. I'm actually going to push it even further.
Like, no, drive you forward.
Yeah. And actually, what's happened since then is we've both had our best months kind of going forward, and I'm sure we'll have even more good months. And we've roped in Sasha from Cheeky Zebra Cards into this caps lock entry. And she's doing really well. And I think there's something to be said for women, supporting women who are doing well, and to keep pushing them further and further and outside of their comfort zone. And like even last night when you did your 4th launch on the scrunchies, and it's like, I'm going to do better than last time, like this launch made this amount of money, and we talk really, really openly about money as well between us.
Yeah,
it was just like, go live, like go for it, like keep going.
I was like, I'm going to go live, but I need to put on a bra and have a wee. And I was like, and then I'm going live. And I messaged like my 2 besties from home. I put in the chat, I was like, I'm going live on Instagram in capital letters, and just left it at that, and they were just going mental. But I was like, dude, I'm busy. And then they all showed up, and I was like, but yeah, you and Sasha were like, you're going live. And I was like, shit, I'm going live.
And you did it. And what happened? You beat your last target of your launch. Yeah.
I did.
It's good. I like it.
And
caps
now I can
lock energy, guys. Just start talking in caps lock and the money will come.
Start shouting.
And so what would you say contributed to the hype of your scrunchie launch?
I think just building it up so much and no one knew what was coming. I was like, I'm launching something completely new as well, completely different to anything I've offered before. And then just kept putting the little purple devil emoji and calling it secret project. And then it got to, I just started to feel so powerful. Every day it'd be like, I put out my daily, what I'm doing. So I put like the day of the week, and then underneath it's always like morning routine, doing orders, daily walk, and then I'd be like, secret project, devil emoji. And I'd just be like, me, like so cocky. And then people would like reply with like the eye emoji, like what's coming. And I had so many messages from people just being like, I don't even know what it is, but I think I'm going to buy it. Like people just got so, because I've built it up for quite a few weeks as well. I think that's why when I like finally announced it, people just went mental.
Yeah.
And they were just so excited.
How did you like get prepared with it? Like, did you tell anybody what it was before it went live? Or, like, did you tell people like an hour before even that it was scrunchies?
The only people that knew were you and Joanne, a couple of friends from home, my coach and my mum.
Wow.
And I think one other person I'm friends with on Instagram, and I can't remember who, and there was a reason. I think it's maybe they guessed, or there was a specific reason, but I can't remember. It was Ruthie from Overly. She knew because she put out a thing on her stories, like asking like about a week before, like, does anyone know any like independent scrunchie businesses? So I replied, I was like, mate, wait a week. And she was like, hello. And she did wait a week and then bought some from me because legend.
Yeah.
But that was it. So maybe 6 or 7 people. And I loved not telling, like, I remember having like one of the many Zoom quizzes, and all my girls from home were like, what's the secret project? I was like, not telling you. I was so stuck to like my guns. I was like, I'm not telling anyone.
Yeah.
Why
didn't you want to tell them? Was it like just for lols, or was there like, did you want to create that hype?
I don't think I really thought. I think I liked it being a secret. I wanted the big reveal, I think. Because I just thought it would lose momentum if it was announced like gradually. Yeah. Because it was such a huge change for my business, I just thought if I don't say until the day, it will just be interesting to see people's reactions. And I just think it would have dwindled if I'd said gradually.
And did you set yourself some kind of like target for the scrunchies, or were you just like having so much fun that you didn't really care how many you sold?
Yeah, I didn't think at all. I didn't even set any kind of money goals. I had no idea how to do. I remember recording like 3 stories or 4 stories about half an hour before launch, and then you can tell like, at one point I'm like I'm properly nervous. I'm really freaking out. I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was excited, and I was like, I'm sure people love it, but there's a part of me it's like it's a completely new product, always a risky move.
Yeah.
But the response was just insane. I couldn't even keep up with like the messages in the comments. Was mad. And then just getting orders from like loads of people I knew, like small businesses that had followed me for years.
And like I was one of those people, I think, that I've always wanted to buy something from you, but like my boyfriend, my dad, my brothers, like my stepdad, nobody wears a bow tie. Like nobody has a reason to wear one.
Exactly, it's quite niche, and also the price point doesn't always suit for gifting, whereas the scrunchies are a lot lower, so a lot of people buy them for like their friends' birthday presents as well and stuff. Which is really, really good.
There's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, actually, which is I kind of touched on in the last episode, was about charging your worth. And like the very first thing that you said when you introduced yourself was like, I'm a luxury brand. And I'm literally obsessed with the word, like the fact that you put luxury in there every time. I'm like, I'm a luxury
that's been added in like the last year, luxury. Because it just then kind of, it's like if people question my prices, I'm a luxury brand. Like it's fine if it's not for you, but I'm a luxury brand.
And so how did you, like, have you always charged what you feel like you're worth, or did you charge less to begin with and you've kind of worked it up?
Oh, I've definitely worked it up. When I first started, I didn't have a clue. I just started a business and I didn't really know what I was doing at all. It was just almost like a side hustle. Whilst I worked full time, it was kind of just like a way. I knew I wanted to do something to be creative, and ended up being bow ties. And I was like, right, let's just see what happens here. So I think my bow ties were like £22 when I first started. Now they're like 35 to 40. And my ties were like 40. Now they're 65. Like I wasn't charging for my time at all, and my materials, and there's just so much that goes into it. Like you think like, oh, it's just like, it's not just per hour making it. It's like the time I take to source the fabrics, to take the photos, edit the photos, list it, show up online, plan my social media, walk to the post office, buy my packaging. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's about 35,000 jobs that every business owner does.
And it's also about like flipping it as well and seeing the value in what you're creating for other people. Like when you said earlier you get like bespoke orders, you're creating something that's like for the most special day of somebody's life, and those pictures are going to last forever. And then she's got a very specific like napkin that she wants her like all the men's bow ties to match to, and you can provide the answer to all her worries. There is so much value in that. It's like it takes it away from that pricing per hour thing. It's not even about that. Like I'm sure some of your brides would literally pay anything.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I used to get nervous if I had like a bulk order, and I would just like, I'd end up like almost discounting it because I was worried they wouldn't pay it. But now I would absolutely not do that. And if it's not for them, that's absolutely fine. I know someone else will come along in their place that it suits their price point. Yes. It's weird. I watched like a really random workshop years ago online. I couldn't tell you who it was. It was 2 American women, and they were so hyped. And she and I almost think she had one of those Britney Spears things like on stage talking about it, I swear. And she just had a jewelry brand, and she was like, I was going to do an American accent, but I'm not getting it. It will come out like Jamaican. And she was like, I charge this much and this much for my jewelry, because that's what I put value on it. I don't have to necessarily say this is the exact cost of materials and the time. It's what I see it valued at for me. And I remember after watching that, I put all my prices up so much, and it definitely didn't like stop me getting orders at all. I wish I knew who it was to like credit, because it was years ago as well, but it really got in my head in a good way.
Yeah, because sometimes I look at people, I was actually looking at swimwear today for an article, and there was some like, so Boohoo say are selling swimwear for like £5. But then there was these other brands that were selling pretty much a very, very similar swimming costume for like £500. Okay, so it's like that designer truly believes that that swimsuit is worth £500, and you can have nothing but respect for that.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, you should be like, kudos to them, like their confidence in that, you can't argue it, can you?
Yeah, and Catherine at Future Retail. We've given so many shout outs to people today.
I mean, we do love a small business.
When you talk about pricing, you kind of end up down a bit of a hole of when you were 7 and how much pocket money you get on, and then like what your parents used to say about what you could afford and what you were worth and what's affordable and what's acceptable and what's rude to talk about money. And you're like, it's not just as simple as taking your cost price and multiplying it by 3 or whatever it is. Like, it's a proper get in your head moment about what you believe you're worth.
Yeah, like it's like if you just don't factor anything else in, what would you like to sell that for in your dreams in that scenario? Yeah, basically
just charge that.
And charge that.
Go for it. Put all your prices up. Double all your prices, guys.
£600 for a tie, guys.
Why not? Like, there are ties out there that are that price that I guarantee aren't even handmade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just depends where you want to be in the world. But if you want to sit in that luxury market with Emma. Exactly.
Yeah. And you'll just attract different audience that want to pay it always.
Vibe attracts the tribe.
Yeah, it's true.
What else did we have on our list of things to talk about? I feel like pricing probably wasn't even one of them.
I know.
Getting drunk was one of them, and taking our friendship from online to offline. Maybe we could just like touch on that before we end, about reaching out to people. I think if you really like what someone's doing, don't feel like a weirdo or creepy or like odd about actually telling them that you like what they're doing, and just get behind them, because they might have had like a really shit day and think, and like their self-doubt has really got to them, but you just wouldn't know it through the pictures. Just like drop them a DM and be like, I fucking love following you, you're really good, you're like really good at what you're doing, and start a conversation up.
Yeah, it literally is that simple. Like, what have you got to lose? As long as you don't say anything completely mental. You know, play it cool. But there's just so much value in that, especially when you're working on your own and it's not a normal job setup. It's not a 9 to 5. You don't have colleagues around you. Yeah. There's less opportunities to make friends in real life. But you have one thing in common. You own a business, and there's so much to talk about. Like, I've gone for coffee. There's so much. I've gone for coffee with like various people that own businesses local to me, and we'll be chatting for hours. Like as if we've known each other for however long. And even if we don't have anything in common outside of business, there's still so much to talk about, just about being self-employed.
Yeah, because I imagine like most of your friends aren't. Like the actual number, when the whole furlough thing happened, I realised like I was in this huge Instagram bubble, that it was something like 19% of the country are self-employed. Like if that, it was either 9 or 19. I was like, what?
Oh my god, like in my mind I'm like everyone. Everyone on Instagram, pretty much. Probably like 80% of I follow businesses.
It's likely that your friends won't be self-employed and they don't realise, like when we were talking about earlier, those huge highs because it's all you, but those huge lows because it's all you.
Yeah. It is, a proper roller coaster.
And just accepting that's totally fine, and just creating that community around yourself will change. Like, I know I put these dramatic statements out there, but it will genuinely change your life.
Because then you just have like your cheerleaders. Like I wouldn't have gone live if I didn't have you and Sasha being like, "You got to go live now." I would have done that.
Fucking bra on.
That, and you were like, "See you there," and I was like, "Shit." But I did.
And you smashed your target.
And I smashed my target. Exactly. Yeah. You just need your cheerleaders because ultimately you're on your own, and you can only cheer yourself on so much.
Yeah, it's true. I think I am very grateful to Sam, like, for introducing like us and Joe, and Catherine, and like a number, like Charlotte at Media Lux. Like, I feel like we just all were starting at the same time, like all had no idea. Like, you were doing it for a bit longer, but I just literally had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
I was selling notebooks at the time, so anybody that follows me on Instagram thinks, oh, she's a fashion consultant. Like, that's not how that Instagram account started. It's had like 3 different names, 2 like different things going on, and it's a proper journey. It's a process. It takes time. Emma took 18 months to get on stories to start talking.
Yeah, so like, no pressure, guys.
But yeah, if you like someone's vibe, if you like somebody's content, or you like someone's product, or like, please just read. If you like their pet, if you like their cat, like,
oh yeah, if you've got like, if you're both dog people or cat people, you've already got common ground.
Yeah, you've got hours of conversation.
You've got hours of conversation, memes and gifts to go with. Memes we haven't spoken about.
Memes. Just send them a meme. Just slide into their DMs with a nice
with a cheeky little meme, and you're like, really creepy meme. Hello.
Yeah, Emma and I have just started making memes and sending them to each other at the beginning of lockdown, we were like, right, business is over. What we're gonna do is just make a meme account. And
we were so ambitious. We were like, we're gonna be meme famous. Nothing else works. We're gonna be meme famous.
We're gonna have nothing else to do. Little did we realise that our businesses were gonna fly through the sky.
Yeah. And there's one post, I think, on that meme account.
I'm not even gonna tag it. It's too embarrassing. So yeah, like, the advice is to reach out to somebody that you love, that you've always loved, that you've never ever spoken to, and your challenge is to tell them that you like what they do, and you never know, you just might make a BFF for life.
Exactly. Like, if you don't ask, you don't get, do you?
No. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
I tell you what, I've never ever said this on the podcast, but I'm going to say it now. I hate ending the podcast. I never know how to end them. It's like when you fancy a boy and you go, no, you hang up first. No, you.
Oh my God.
Bye.
You should be like, that's a wrap. We're a big fan.
Have you got any sort of, like, I tell you what, we can end on this. Any pearls of wisdom?
Oh God.
With a small business.
Or
like things you wish you'd known, or things you could tell yourself 7 years ago?
I would definitely say, like, mindset is very important.
Investing in a coach.
Oh my God, yeah, investing in a coach, 100%. Workshops, reaching out to people to make Insta friends. And I could say a really knobby quote. You know the quote, the one about, like, is it Amy Jo Martin? It's a dialogue, not a monologue.
Yes.
Well, basically, in terms of Instagram, like, you can't just show up, put your content out there, and then leave. You need to make connections and engage with other people, which you should want to do anyway, to get to know people. And if you see something and you like it, physically like it, or put a comment on it, or when you're watching stories, right, reply to people's stories. Don't just watch them and do nothing, even if it's just replying with an emoji. Like, it means so much. Like, if I put up a story and I get nothing back, I'll just assume that no one liked it, which is a terrible assumption. But then every now and then I get someone that'll be like, oh my God, blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, oh okay, no, that was good. Like, yeah, people need reassurance.
I think that's really important, especially as women. Like, you know that you want reassurance, so give it to others. Like,
yeah, exactly.
from
It's like what you
within.
say, like put out what you want to come back. So if you want people to engage with you or to love what you do and to comment and to like and to be interested in what you're doing, then you've got to show that to other people. Otherwise it's kind of all take, and that's not how it works.
Yeah. Because if you went to a party and you were just talking about yourself, or if you phoned a mate and all you did was speak about yourself, or a friend called you and all she did was speak about herself and then hung up, you'd be like, what's up with that? Like,
or yeah, exactly. Or if you went to a party and just look at your phone, not even like listening to the person talking to you, like it is almost like bad manners, but
I think that's right. That
it's the digital version of like a meetup in a way.
Show up, talk to people, tell people they're great, tell other people.
Yeah, exactly. Like throw compliments around like confetti, because it comes back to you and it's just a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
like
that's
Elizabeth,
the nicest thing.
Yeah, there we go. We'll end on that lovely little note that I just came up with.
I'm into it. All right. Well, if people want to follow you or stay in touch or buy a scrunchie, where can they find you?
Best place is on my Instagram, which is Beautie UK _ and it's BEAU. BEAUTIE UK _
So catchy.
Really easy to find. So simple. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. It only took you about 2 years, maybe.
Yeah. I think I'm in my prime now. It's probably best to wait till now. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go and have a little wine on Zoom now.
Nice. What we are?
Yeah.
Have you got another meeting? Like, whatever. Fine, I've got a date, whatever.
All right. Well, thanks for being my lovely guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.